Hello everyone and welcome to the Pitskill.io Porsche Cup and BMW M2 Multiclass, sponsored by SimQuips. I am your host Roy Weller, and tonight we are at the Temple of Speed, round 6 of this series. As we get underway with our qualifying session, our championship leader Johan left out on track, as are all of the Porsche Cups. Will be setting their time in the first 9 minutes of this qualifying session. As I believe it will be Matthew Parry who will take us on to the first of the fine laps of this session. As we have the long blast down to turn 1, which should be seeing plenty of action in our race tonight. Harry hooks up both of the apexes and looks to get his first flying lap underway, looking neat and tidy so far. And through the Curva Grande into the second chicane. The faster chicane than the first, and nicely through is Parry. Just a little bit of a dip of a wheel onto the gravel we hear there, but keeping it plenty tidy at the moment as we come through the two Lesmos at the top of the circuit. Onto the long back straight and the run down to the Scari. With a yellow flag out for the 540 car. That is King, who is back underway again. Shouldn't pose any hazard for Harry. He winds his way through a Scari, the back stepping out a little bit for him, and whoa, a very scruffy trip through a Scari there for Parry. Really scrabbling to keep control of the car. Just the Parabolica left to go. The Anthony Nose corner, as it's now called. We're still going to call it Parabolica in this broadcast because I'm not going to remember the new name. And as we come across the line, Harry still valid for now and taking the wide exit, so obviously not happy with that lap, not cutting the shortest route to the line, still keeping hold of E1 for the moment. Of Tranmere goes 0.3 of a second slower, and Klinger Nitro some way off the pace, but it is our championship leader who's setting the benchmark early on with a 1:49.657. Solid lap there from Johan left. As the sponsor Chris Wright. Line E7 and 1.8 seconds off the pace at the moment. Plenty of time to find over the subsequent laps, as it's still in the Cock and Kiwi Brewery livery there, which is going to get us demonetised yet again, I am sure. Here's Reese Tattersall, multiple championship winner here in the Porsche Cups. Going to be a challenge for him to hold on to that this season, having missed a couple of rounds. He needs to consistently score in the rest of the championship if he wants to hold on to that reigning champion status. So far, Tattersall without a valid lap. A little bit of traffic up ahead for Tattersall, but nothing that I'd be worrying him just yet. It's the number 132 cars up ahead. That is absolutely theirs. Oh, it's Swingley. So another driver yet to set a valid lap, and Tattersall will be picking up a little bit of a distant tow. Could be of benefit as he comes through the parabolica. Will he shorten the run to the finish line? Somewhat shortening it, but not overly, as Reece Tattersall goes 5 thousandths of a second faster than Johan Leff to take provisional pole position. A good amount of time left in this session, as the majority of our Porsche Cup field have now got a valid lap under themselves and can think about looking to improve on that. Talking of improving, we will keep with Johan Leff, who's got a little bit of traffic up ahead to contend with. That is Christian Fager in the safety, so the unsafety racing up ahead. And should have a good slipstream coming out of Ascari. As Reece Tattersall also going quick on this lap. And I think Johan Leff getting a little bit caught up there behind Fager. Might have to drop back and think about going for another lap after this one, as Matthew Parry sneaks in there with a 1:49.220 by 9 hundredths of a second faster than Reece Tattersall at this point in the session. As again, with a good tow down to the start-finish line, Johan Leff taking pole position by 300ths of a second. And I think he will back out on this lap. Start to pull out a little bit of a gap as Reece Tattersall looks to finish his second attempt at a flying lap. And I think this is going to be a new benchmark here. And Liz, the first driver to get into the 1:48, so 1:48.995. Reece Tattersall comfortably in pole position by 0.195 seconds, and Reece Tattersall evidently very happy with that attempt and returns to the pit lane. Matthew Parry still going strong in this lap. There's a number of drivers looking to improve further down the order. There's a very new driver to this season, Benjamin Vedvik, looking to find a good chunk of time on this lap. Currently 6 seconds down, but does jump ahead of Broadhurst. And good to see these drivers continuing to improve over the season, finding the time during these sessions. I know a lot of drivers don't dedicate all that much time to these Porsche Cup and BMW events, so ended up getting a lot of practice in during these qualifying sessions. As at the top, still Tattersall leading ahead of Parry and Leff. Neither of the front runners are going to be setting a fast lap just yet, as Johan Leff, with just over 10 minutes remaining, does get to start another flying lap. Alash Fahit jumping up, gaining 3.5 tenths of a second there, and jumping up to P5 at the top of that next gaggle of drivers. As next to break the beam and try and get ahead of Fahit, I think will be somewhat off. Yes, they 1:49.987. John Sawyer making his hold over P6. As well, Vibeck rounding the final corner. Just behind, I don't know who that is in front of him now, but Vibeck jumping ahead of Fahit, taking 5th position. Jorn King in that A10 inspired livery, rounding the final corner now. Needs to just find 1/100th of a second to jump ahead of Chris Wright, and he finds it to take P11 on tonight's grid. As Luke Tranmere needs to find 1.5 tenths take P3 away from Johan Left. Could even be challenging for P2 here, and he gets it. Luke Trammer with the late in the session lap takes P2 and will be joining Reece Tattersall on the front row of the grid. And Balazs Fahit, who will not be happy with having that P5 taken away from him by Robert Weidbach, is on a solid lap now as Gregor Michalak looking like he's starting the donuts early. As Fahit retakes P5 and puts himself very, very close to our lead pack. As now we turn our attention to the BMW M2 field and championship leader Andy Hudson coming out of the Parabolica to start his first flying lap. But up in the front of this pack is the 262 car, yet again the first car to get out on track. I think a recurring theme here, Roland Stricker, not a driver who wants to hang around. And, well, we can ride on board with Stricker now, who's got the track in front of him as clear as you like it. And see the difference in lines, the difference in grip that this BMW M2 class of cars has. PCX cars is very much like touring cars, so any of you who are familiar with BTCC or any other touring car series out there will be familiar with. Very close to, much closer to the road spec cars, these, than the Porsche Cups. Into Ascari, you can really see the difference in handling between the Porsche Cup and the M2. Really not with much grip at all, and not much grunt in these PCX cars either. It's going to be, well, thankfully a lot of straights here at Monza for the Porsche Cups to deal with the blue flags. Roland Stricker comes out the final corner to set the first of the times of our BMW M2 class, and it is a 2:03.167. Just behind him is Andy Hudson by just under 0.2 of a second, and we've got Robert Fish, Matthias Peltzer, Meyer van Dijk and Alex Levinson. We've got a few new drivers on our grid here tonight. Marco Lorenzo starting off their second flying lap, first lap there at 2:05.822. About a second to find to be catching up to the likes of Matthias Peltzer. This BMW M2 grid currently at least split into a couple of subgroups with Roland Stricker and Andy Hudson well ahead of the rest of the field. And then it is Robert Fish and Matthias Peltzer who seem to be in a league of their own. And then the rest of the pack are very close together. But we're beginning to see big improvements coming out now. Drivers up and down the field as Matthias Peltzer back in his old livery. Backing it through Ascari. Just about keeping it within track limits, and this is looking like a much better lap from Peltzer this time around. Meltzer comes down to the line, finding 1.2 seconds in that lap, bringing himself further into contention with our front two runners, still 0.6 of a second off, and plenty of time left to find, but plenty of laps still to go as well. Well, I should be able to get 2 more laps in at least. But very long lap here around Monza for these BMW M2s. As Lorenzo finds a second as well, moves himself up to a 204.9, just 1/100th of a second behind Fish. There's Pentlow, it's up into P4 in class, solid lap. As, oh, well, I say we're seeing drivers finding plenty of time. Well, I think Wilkinson found plenty of time because he skipped the chicane there, but will not be valid from Wilkinson there. But Andy Hudson has taken provisional pole position by 6/100th of a second, a 203.017. As none of our front runners finding much time at the moment, as Van Dijk throwing it around the second of the Lesmos. Oh wait, no, sorry, that wasn't Van Dijk. That was, I think that's, I was going to say that was Sergi Sebastian, but he's not out here, so it's someone running his livery. What car is that? 2 cars back, the 1, 2, 4. That must be Pentlow. I believe it is, in the hard motorsport, that white and red livery car. Really sending it through these corners is Pentlow, and well, unfortunately for them, on an invalid lap at the moment, as is Van Dijk, so we will turn our attention elsewhere. And the elsewhere we will send it is Robert Fish, who comes to cross the line, cruising time, not quite in position yet, finds himself 0.3 of a second behind Pentlow. One more lap in which to try and find a bit more pace. There's Alfie Lawson in a gaggle of cars coming out of Ascari now, heading down towards the Parabolica. Has got about half second in hand on this lap. Could see them challenging Schultz for P35, or what would be, I think, P10 in class. P9. I'm not going to count them out. Would be a sizable improvement. He manages to jump those 2 positions. As Lawson crosses the line, yeah, does indeed jump ahead of Schultz. There's Marco Lorenzo also finding plenty of time. Head through the curve of Grande, obviously finding a lot of time in that first chicane. Now just needs to keep it together for the rest of this lap. Consistency will be king here, as Lorenzo really throwing it around. Second chicane, maybe a little over aggressive, not quite optimizing the exit. But turn our attention to Alex Levinson, currently running down in P38, looking like about 12th in class here. He's got about 1.4 seconds in hand, getting a lovely tow off of Roland Schricker ahead. And this should be a solid lap from Levinson. See them getting into the 204s. Could be good enough for P3 here. Not quite good enough for P3 in class. So I completely misread that, apologies. Into the 204, so good enough for P6 in class for Levinson. A good late in the day improvement. I think that is about to be usurped by Marco Lorenzo, who is on a good flying lap here. Could see themselves challenging for 5th in class. Lorenzo showing some decent pace in these BMWs. And running the Porsche Cup in the last few seasons of this championship. When, well, we did only have one class. Moving over to the BMWs and finding himself well at home there. And Harold Kackelmeyer, with a return of the beloved livery, And qualifying P41, I think he's going to have to retire that livery, as he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers starting behind him. Obviously finding himself more at home in the BMW M2. And, oh, Ukioji, really not looking like he's got a car in the best of conditions. And somehow 1.5 seconds up on this lap with a car that looks like it's been through the wars. Will be improving in position, I think, with this lap. And wow, imagine what you could have done with a car that was in one piece. Well done to our pole position sitters in both classes, Reese Tattersall and Andy Hudson. As our drivers line themselves up on the grid, we will take a bit of time to go through our starting order. As mentioned, on pole position, we have got reigning champion Reese Tattersall in that ever so distinctive Cock and Kiwi livery brewery, Cock and Kiwi brewery livery. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to say that word too many times for my liking in commentary. And in P2, we have got Luke Tranmer. That is our front row for the grid tonight. In P3 is the 85 car of Matthew Parry. Starting alongside him will be our championship leader, Johan Leff. P5 in the fake Subaru. Hopefully avoiding any more off-road antics in tonight's race will be Balazs Fahir. Alongside him will be Robert Weidbeck. Both of these two drivers seeming extremely close on pace during the race, so in qualifying, so it will be interesting to see how they get on in the race tonight. Behind them in the 111 car is John Sawyer, who's starting alongside the unsafety racing Christian Fager. And well, turn 1 here at Monza is definitely a place where some people do leave safety behind, so let's hope that he is a little bit safer than his livery may suggest. E9 is Gregor Michalak, who we hope will not be making a repeat of his turn 1 antics at the Circuit of the Americas. And alongside him, the original Rexy, Tadeusz Szynski, in P10. And well, having to give up his original race number, he is now in the 699 car. In P11, in that distinctive A10 livery, is Bjorn King, starting alongside our series sponsor, Chris Wright. In P13 is Daniel Kurowski, starting alongside him. Series veteran Laurent Demore. Number 20 car, starting at P15, is Justin Hoffman. Starting alongside the confusingly numbered 669 car of Slavek Klinger. In P17, in the Ubuntu livery he always likes to run in these Porsche Cup cars is Nitro. Starting alongside Martin, who has reverted back to her original livery and not confusing the commentary team of running the same livery as Chris Wright. In P19 is Tobias Bock, starting alongside James Matchman. P21 is Jordi Cano, side Ricardo Simmons. P23 is David Little, starting alongside Alex Perry. Jesper Swingley is in P25 alongside William Broadhurst. P27 is Benjamin Vedvik. Then we have our BMW M2s. Leading the way will be Andy Hudson. Alongside, actually not alongside, actually behind him will be Roland Schricker. Then in P30 we have got Matthias Peltzer, Robert Fish, Toby Penlow, Marco Lorenzon, Alex Levinson, David Wilkinson, Maya Van Dyke, Alfie Lawson, Dominic Schultz, Kyle Wilson, Alex Kaiser, Callum Scotland, Harold Kacklemeyer, Ryan Craig Douglas, Kevin Schiffer, Suzuki, Wilder, Vertusa and Anderson as we rush to get back to the front of the field. And well, actually that was premature because I thought we were already at Parabolica, but turns out I really badly read where on track we were. So maybe you could have given the rest of those drivers a bit more time. Alas, maybe I just need to pay a little bit more attention. It gives us a bit more time to admire and admonish this livery from Breeds Tattersall as we come down the long straight towards the Parabolica. The drivers, their final opportunity to get a little bit of heat into those tyres as those Porsche Cup engines roar. A symphony of noise here at the Temple of Speed. Line up 2 by 2. Themselves up into racing speed, ready to await that green flag. Let's just hope and pray that all these drivers manage to keep it nice and clean into what can be a chaotic turn 1 here at Monza. Will take us a little bit further down the start-finish straight than start-finish line here at Monza, so we need to wait for everyone to get onto that straight. We wait. Green flag, and we are racing here at Monza, and it's a good start from Luke Tranmer, who gets himself fully alongside Rhys Tattersall. Rhys Tattersall still hanging on there on the inside, but behind Johan Leff and Harry side by side as they come through the first corner. That tree really getting in our way. Luke Tranmer holding that inside line at the chicane. Everyone behind seemingly behaving themselves nicely. As up in the front of the BMW field, Andy Hudson finding himself actually making up positions on some Porsche Cups as well, though now leading at the head of the BMW field. But Rhys Tattersall has managed to hold on to P1 in class and in this race, but has not managed to shake Luke Tranmer away. As they follow through the first of the Lesmos. Johan Leff really keeping Luke Tranmer honest though, so Luke Tranmer not able to concentrate just on Rhys Tattersall up ahead as they come through the run down towards Ascari for the first time in this race. We've got those tyres right up into the temperature window where they want them, so we'll have to be a little bit careful with the sausage curbs on this opening lap. Rhys Tattersall holding on to that lead at the moment. We've got a snake of cars winding their way through. There's just running wide there in the background on the exit of Ascari. There's Christian Vega looking up the inside of Balazs Fahit, not close enough to make a move at that point. We have a battle emerging over P2 in this race. Johan Leff well in the slipstream of Luke Tranmer, nearly getting caught out there as Johan Leff coming out of the slipstream of Rhys Tattersall. So Leff coming out of the slipstream of Tranmer. Tranmer was trying to do the same to Tattersall, very nearly ending up in a awful collision there, but they managed to work it out between themselves and keep on facing the right way. We have got a yellow flag in the background. And looks like that is Vedvik just moving out the way of our class leaders in the BMW M2s as Andy Hudson leading ahead of Roland Schricker. Then we've got the Porsche Cups of Vedvik and Matchman. And then we've got quite the sizable gap back to Matthias Peltzer. I'm not sure if something happened there at the top of the BMW field. As Andy Hudson has got himself a little bit of a gap here with these two Porsche Cups squabbling behind him with Roland Stricker. And Andy Hudson's just going to be wanting to allow these two Porsche Cup cars through and then has a decent gap back. But up at the front of the Porsche Cup field, Rhys Tattersall has pulled out a 1 second gap ahead of Luke Tranmer as they come through the Parabolica again. Johan Laff in a good position here behind Luke Tranmer. This time well in the slipstream and does not have to worry about Luke Tranmer going for an overtake on Rhys Tattersall as Laff pulls out of the slipstream up the inside into turn 1. Tranmer will have to leave the space on that first apex. He does so, and we have got a BMW just off there at the first chicane. And these two side by side as they come through the Curva Grande. Look like Johan Laff with the better exit, but is going to have to try and go the long way around. They come out of the Curva Grande. Luke Tranmer looking like he's trying to defend the middle of the road, not wanting to give Johan Laff the space to make a lunge. This is battling over P2 in this race between Tranmer, Laff and Parry. All the time this is allowing Rhys Tattersall to drive away. That gap now at 2 seconds. As a little bit of a snap there from Johan Laff, and an even bigger snap by Matthew Parry. Has just broken that battle up ever so slightly. Behind them, Balázs Feher in the position he knows best, leading a train of Christian Feger, Robert Weidbach and John Sawyer. With the Rexy car of Basinski, King and Wright not far behind either. This is what we know Feher for. And but maybe he should have brought the Thomas the Tank Engine livery to this race, because I can see this being a long train by the end of this one. Down in BMW land, Marco Lorenzo battling with Meyer van Dijk and Wilkinson. Battle for P4 in class, with the first 3 drivers reasonably well spread out here around this Monza circuit. The first couple of laps leading to a few gaps, and well, lucky for those first three drivers, because slipstream in these BMWs very powerful here at this circuit. Not much power for these cars, and really benefit from having the air in front of them broken up. I've got plenty of battles further down the field as Max Levinson leading Vatusa and Fish behind. Vatusa and Fish side by side. Vatusa with the inside line. And I think their lapping is that Craig Douglas, can see that. Just ahead of this battle as well, we have got Kakelmeyer being cased down by Kazar. And well, we have actually missed, unfortunately, a change in the lead of this train as Balázs Feher has been overtaken by Christian Feger. We'll turn our attention back to the Porsche Cups as this train continues its way around. Luke Tranmer still running ahead of Johan Laff as well. Battle for P2 with Rhys Tattersall now with a 2.1 second lead over second place, as we have now got joint fastest laps of the race coming from Rhys Tattersall and Johan Laff. 1:49.560 as Balázs Feher pulls out of the slipstream, looks up the inside of Christian Feger coming into turn 1. There's a contact between the two as Christian Feger just slightly wide of the outside of the corner, and well, Balázs Feher getting a chunk of oversteer as he pins the throttle And well, it was very lucky that Christian Fager was alongside him there to straighten the car up and point them back in the right direction. And now Balázs Feher, under pressure from Robert Weibach, has gone from attacking to defending now. Head towards the Lesmos. Christian Fager now with a 1 second gap over or back to Balázs Feher. With Weibach, Sawyer and Szynski right on his tail. Bounce their way through Ascari. And I've seen a number of drivers running quite wide on that exit of Ascari. I do wonder if we're going to start seeing some drive-throughs for track limits appearing to get later into this race. But so far, we're 10 minutes into this race now, and no one picking up limit penalties thus far. Into the 6th lap of this race, and Robert Weibach optimistically looking up the inside of Balázs Feher, not close enough to make any sort of sensible move into turn 1, but just getting in the mirrors of Feher, letting him know he's there. As Feher keeping that gap, but just below a second to Fager ahead. Ackelmat still heading up. Bit of Sousa and Kesa. I don't see where Kesa is on track. Where's that car? That's all the way back. Oh, okay. That's just my timing tower being awful. Never mind. There's all sorts going on around here as Michelin trying to battle his way through. My timing tower is getting very, very confused. As up at the top, looks like Johan Leff has now made his way past Luke Tranmer. Let's see what has happened here. Oh, actually looks like already made his way through. Luke Tranmer there out into the dirt. We've got continuing battling in Balázs Feher, Robert Weibach and John Sawyer in the Porsche Cups as they look to go 3 wide down the start-finish straight here at Monza. Szynski, please do not make this 4 wide. It's scary enough as it is as they do almost go 4 wide into turn 1. Balázs Feher holding on in front of Robert Weibach, making that one work. That looked scary. But everyone getting through there okay, although looking like Tadeusz Szynski having a little bit of a bump. Go to the heady cam and have a look as they exit through the corner. Oh, it looked like John Sawyer there getting a little bit of a wiggle on, and that has sent Tadeusz Szynski into the wall. He will be carrying a hefty amount of damage as now Johan Leff and Luke Tranmer making their way past some of this back-marking BMW traffic, moving down onto the straight towards Ascari. Matthew Parry following them through as well. That gap between P1 and P2 now at 3.8 seconds. Rhys Tatzel really pulling out that big gap now. We're just under 13 minutes into this race, and Rhys Tatzel's pace really looking unassailable at the moment. Well, as we're heading down the back straight, it is hard to pay attention to who is actually battling here, but it is Fahir and Weidbeck, who are side by side coming through the Parabolica. As they make their way past the BMW backmarker traffic. There's Weidbeck, who will be looking up the inside of Fahir into first corner. As they hit the braking zone, Fahir braver on the brakes. Going deep into the first part of the chicane. This could open up an opportunity here for Weidbeck. He manages to get on the throttle slightly earlier. Managing to maintain that gap as they run through the Curva Grande. Here for Weidbeck if he feels like being brave on the brakes. A little bit optimistic from that far back. And after sustaining a little bit of damage earlier on, Zajaczynski dropping back now behind Chris Wright. Managing to hold on well, obviously hasn't picked up too much damage. The front of that car. It sits in the slipstream of Wright, going down towards Ascari. There's a battling all over the place as Robert Weidbeck still trying to find a way past Balázs Fahir. All the while this allowing Christian Faber just to open up that gap ever so slightly ahead of it. Johan left. Catching up to Rees Tattersall, it seems, taking the slipstream off of the BMW of Matthias Peltzer. Got that gap down to 3.2 seconds. Last lap around. Johan left. Only about 3/10 faster. At this rate, could still catch Tattersall by the end of the race. Needs to keep at it, keep the pace up, and well, really doesn't need Luke Tranmer all over the back of him. He seems to be where he wants to be as Johan left, taking a defensive line into the second chicane. All the while, this is slowing this battle down and allowing Rees Tattersall to again open up that lead at the front of this race. And wow, there is a lot of BMW traffic ahead of these cars, and I think Rees Tattersall just catching that traffic actually through the Lesmos, what's caused him to lose so much time to Johan left. They now come down towards Ascari. And just weaving their way past our class leader Andy Hudson, who needs to be extremely careful with this lapping traffic, especially these front runners. Very, very impatient it seems, especially as Johan left can see Rees Tattersall being dragged back towards him by this traffic. Just behind, Balázs Fahir, Robert Weidbeck and John Sawyer following them through the Parabolica. And the long start-finish straight. There's another battle going on behind as it looks like Zajaczynski has got the pace through the corners, but as soon as he comes out of the slipstream, the damage on the front of that car not allowing him to get the slipstream. And we'll have to take another look at that from the helicam, which is maybe from a different angle again. It did look like a little bit of a move in the braking zone there from Zajaczynski, and King doing well to react to that and avoid any contact, but that is going to be severely frustrating for our driver who was running in P11. As wow, that is a big crash there. As Balázs Fahir just running wide, and that was a very unhelpful camera angle. Robert Weidbeck trying to go around the outside, Fahey not noticing him there, hits Weidbeck and then collects Sawyer. And well, that is going to see John Sawyer dropping like a stone through this order. There's Tadeusz Szynski now under pressure from Hoffman. Actually, that is Fahey behind them. There's Tadeusz Szynski looking like he... Oh! Yep, has a car that is thoroughly out of control. And that is 2 more big hits to the wall. And Tadeusz Szynski returns to the pit lane. And that will be the end of his race tonight. Battle over P2 continues. Johan Leff ahead of Luke Tranmere. They're separated by half a second at the moment, as they have been for most of this race. All the while up ahead, Reece Tattersall now has a gap of 3.3 seconds. And it looks like we've got a hell of a lot of field spread in the BMWs, but what has happened to Roland Schricker? Through the chicane, oh, just lights up the rears, and well, had a bit of a spin all on his own, and well, as such was the pace of Schricker. Doesn't even lose a single position, now just 3.4 seconds ahead of Matthias Peltzer, but that has now meant that Andy Hudson, the gap of 7.5 seconds, is looking very comfortable in the lead of this race. And our attention back to battle over P2. Luke Tranmere with that gap at 0.2 seconds. As Johan Leff running very wide out of the Parabolica. This is going to open up an opportunity for Tranmere, who's got a very good run out of the final corner. He's going to have to stay in that slipstream. Get that overspeed as they come down towards the first corner. Luke Tranmere pulling out to the inside line. There's John Sawyer. Oh, as Luke Tranmere opting not to brake for the corner, it seems. As, whoa, Johan Leff adding a little bit of flair to the proceedings there. Ending it very sideways around the corner. Hoffman looking up the inside of Balázs Fahey. As, oh, Fahey doesn't really leave the space there on the inside. And having a very frustrating race is the fake Subaru driver, taking to the dirt. Humans and Martin battling out over P10. Good race for the pair of them. They're coming down towards the second chicane. Martin with the inside line. Holds on to P10. We've got more yellow flags out as, whoa! Swingley in the background, sending it through the dirt. Martin and Ullmanns continue their battle for P10 in this race. Taking into Ascari. As Ullmanns runs wide, Martin should be able to carry the speed through the corner and hold on to the position. Solid battling from the pair of them. Now towards the Parabolica. Barely a millimetre between them as they head into the braking zone. It looks like Ullmanns has got the better run through the corner up into P10. As Martin drop down to P11. We did have yellow flags up for box, don't know why. Oh, I can see why we've got yellow flags out for broadcast though, as that was a heavy collision into the wall. So, well, Monza is delivering the sort of public lobby driving standards we've come to expect from the track. And we've got a real battle brewing over P10 in this race as Umans leading Martin, Bock and King for this position. And, oh, well, actually only just noticed that, but it seems like it was Umans who managed to nab the car number off of Tobias Szymski. For all of you Pitskill trivia fans. As Tobias Bock makes their way past Martin for P11 in this race. Now King, who's looking up to make up another position. Going to have to be around the outside of Ascari. Managing to hold on well there is King. Lars Fahit looking to recover from the earlier instance in the race. Gets themselves up into P16. Looking to start chasing down Klinger ahead. As finally we have something of a battle emerging in the BMWs as Alex Levinson has caught up to Schultz. This battle over P8 in class. As we have yet another comedy livery from Levinson in this race. I do love a good comedy livery here at Pitskill. Levinson looking to the inside of the Parabolica, would be bold to go for a lunge here, but looking like Schultz leaving the room, and Levinson will have a good run here. We want to try and nab the slipstream off of the car ahead as Schultz getting a good exit from the Parabolica. We head down towards turn 1. Will Schultz managed to get enough of a slipstream to send it into turn 1? Looks like he is close, but up to caution. And Levinson getting caught up behind the Tesco delivered car. I'm not sure who that is. Is that Craig Douglas? Yes, it is. That marker of Douglas, so it just doesn't want to get caught out there. All the while, this is allowing Schultz to stay with this battle. Levinson does make his way through. As our race leader, Rhys Tatzel, also trying to pick his way through this. And that gap to Johan Leff has opened up somewhat. So there's a close down, I should say. As Johan Leff now just 1 second behind Rhys Tatzel. In the final 3 minutes of this race, we could have a battle for the lead on our hands. As Johan Leff finding himself within slipstream range. We can just hold things together. Should be able to start to gradually close that gap up. As Rhys Tatzel. Right. A little bit out of control there. At the lead of this race. If we get a classic race finish here in the Porsche Cup class this time around. We had the final lap overtake last round out at Kota in the BMW class. One turn of the Porsches. deliver the action in the dying minutes of the race. With Reece Tattersall for now as he rapidly approaches. BMW traffic ahead needs to pick his way through this smoothly, and will be aware that every car he passes he will be alerting to the cars catching, and should make the job of Johan Leff easier as well, as the cars, as the BMW backmarkers will notice that they've got two cars behind them as they check their mirrors. That now at 0.8 seconds. This car up ahead is Van Dijk, as Reece Tattersall catching Van Dijk in the worst possible position. That gap now at 0.4 seconds. These multi-class races do really come down to who can manage the traffic best. And at the moment, it is Johan Leff who is really taking the advantage. As they come to the parabolica, Reece Tattersall having to take the tighter inside line. The BMW on the outside, Johan Leff following his line through, so not going to get the advantage on the exit, but is definitely within slipstream range now at 0.1 seconds behind. Reece Tattersall taking a defensive inside line, trying to box Leff in behind the back marker. As there's door-to-door contact and the back marker going straight on as well. As Johan Leff exits chicane, and battle will commence. This final lap of the race. Both drivers getting caught very much out of shape there by the back marker traffic. They now approach Matthias Peltzer through the second of the Lesmos. And up well in the slipstream of Reece Tattersall. Next car up ahead of them is Roland Schrecker. A pair of these, they get past. Reece Tattersall gets past Roland Schrecker. Andy Hudson will have a final lap all on his own in class. Oh, what happened? When did Johan Leff get past Reece Tattersall? As he rounds the final corner, Johan Leff taking the win here at Monza. I have to see that from another camera angle. They head through Ascari. But in the end, it was just on the straight, and I was looking in the wrong direction. Well, that was a great final second overtake by Johan Leff. And again, the Porsche Cup and BMW M2 Multiclass delivers yet again, as Luke Tranmer takes P3 here at Monza. P4 was Matthew Parry, followed by Christian Fager, Robert Weidbeck, Hoffman, Wright, the Moore, and Umans rounding out our top 10. But all on his own. The only one of the BMW M2s not to get lapped. Well, he did get lapped, but only one to make it onto another lap was Andy Hudson, and he will treat this one as a victory lap here at Monza. Not sure how aware he is that he is the only BMW yet to finish. Comes round the final corner and extend his championship lead here in the BMW class. Congratulations to Andy Hudson. And the rest of our BMW M2 podium is Roland Stricker and Matthias Peltzer. And what? Yet again, the Pitskill.io Porsche Cup and BMW M2 Multiclass delivered us some exceptionally good racing. If you are interested in joining any of the racing here at Pitskill.io, please do check out the referral link in the description of this video below. We would love to see you on the grid in any of our series or daily races. And do tune in on the Pitskill.io Twitch and YouTube channels on Wednesday, when the flagship VIP Trophy Series will be heading here to Monza. That is one definitely not to be missed. And next week, we will be heading to, I believe it is the Hungaroring for round 7. Again, says without checking calendar. It will indeed be the Hungaroring. So same time next week, Monday at 7:45 UTC. Do tune in for that. Do remember to like and subscribe if you have enjoyed the commentary and the broadcast we've had tonight. And I will leave you with the highlights from tonight's race, which I can only imagine there are many of. That was an action-packed battle, especially in the Porsche Cups, start to finish. Let me say again, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope to see you again soon. Good night.